Welcome to the What's Next podcast. Today, Mike and Bryan sit down with Phil Dalpe and talk about his family, him and his brother's life in hockey from junior to the NHL and behind the scenes. They share some stories and a few laughs, as well as talk about the loss of a loved one. And finally, they ask the question, what's next? So if you're ready, buckle up and let's go.
Welcome to the What's Next podcast, sponsored by Frontline Forward, your multidisciplinary wellness center for first responders and everybody else out there looking for a little help with whatever's going on in your life. I'm one of your hosts, Bryan Sims, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Michael Hectus.
What's going on, buddy? There we are. We're still good friends.
Yep.
It's only been, how many episodes it does. I don't know. But hey, I got to tell you, I was looking again, and I know we've done this just to talk to one person out there. Hope one person's listening.
Right.
Last one show, we had like 6,900 viewers.
Whoa. And 6,800 of them don't like the show.
No, they don't live in the country.
Yeah, they don't even.
I don't know. They don't. Yeah, I don't get it. It's crazy, but that's awesome.
It is.
I mean, the whole purpose is for people to connect with the stories, and that's what the whole podcast is about. So it's really cool. So I appreciate you, man. It's always good to be in the studio with you at Porchlight Studios with Mr. with owner and musician extraordinaire.
Yes.
What's his name again? Stephen Ryan. He's sitting in the back wings over there. Thumbs up. Way to go, Stephen.
He's over there playing with the Rubik's Cube.
Thanks for having us again. Anyway, tonight, this is we had Logan Barrett on a while back, and Logan had a great story, and we're looking forward to having Logan back on. He actually is away right now, down in Florida, kind of helping out with some rescue and recovery and stuff. I guess I'm not sure what he's all doing, but I'm anxious to get a chance to sit down with him because he had called out this week, which was really cool.
Yeah,
and then he introduced us to our guest tonight.
Hi.
Mr. Phil Dalpe.
You want me to introduce myself?
Mr. Phil Dalpe. How are you, Phil?
You just all of a sudden showed up. So.
Yeah. I got lost.
He knocked on the door and we said, can we help you?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Logan's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. So, no, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. I mean, this is really cool because, every time we do a podcast, somebody says, I got somebody you got to have on. And he mentioned your name, and then Stephen reached out as well to us and said, he says, Logan knows him really well. He said, I know a bit about him. He says, but here's a bit of his history. And as soon as he said this guy played hockey, AAA hockey, he's got brothers that are in the involved in the NHL and at the scouting level, he said, get him on. I don't care what else he's done. Bryan and I, as you know, are hockey guys, and we just love to talk hockey. And we can't go into depth about the conversation leading into this about our past hockey and how much fun it was. And
stories on the bus,
stories.
everything else.
Bus stories are always the best.
And the best part was how you said you went from junior B to junior C to junior D. Was it in 1 year?
So one year, I think it's my 17th or 18th.
Yeah, so you went all three categories in 1 year. So you're like a rookie all the way down this stuff.
I know that guy wrote the book about all the leagues. I was trying to copy it in the local junior, though.
Well, listen, we'll get into your hockey background, but it was great. Yeah. So I appreciate you coming in and being on the show with us tonight. But so like I said, we did this because everybody's got a story, and everybody says, well, my story's not that important, but we truly believe that somebody is going to connect with a story somewhere, and it's neat that we can talk about that. But I want to go back so people get a chance to actually get to know who you are a bit. And so you grew up, whereabouts did you grow up then?
I grew up in Paris, Ontario.
I was
born and raised.
The Paris hat, but I didn't know if that was... Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Grew up in Paris. I've got two brothers. My mom and dad were very hardworking people.
Nice.
And we were a hockey family. I started skating around 3, and I probably started playing around 5-ish.
Nice.
That's where I got most of my goals, probably in novice. There's articles about it.
Because you didn't have goalies yet.
Yeah, I got one hanging above the bed about 137 goals in 29 games or something. Came to fame. It's not on Elite Prospects, folks, so don't look it up. Then I went to Brantford, played some AAA there till Pee-wee age, and then just decided to come back to Paris, my brother and I, and played, I think it was major Pee-wee, he was minor. And that age group and that hockey, it's two age groups together.
Right, yeah.
So, we won a big championship there. We went undefeated in the finals, or in the whole playoffs, and then stayed around for another year. We won that year as well, the OMHAs. And, I think around 15, I went to try out for the Mounties and made the team and didn't know what I was getting myself into. Played a couple of years there, and then kind of made Cambridge out of tryouts. I got cut. He called me back, and then went back to Paris, and then I went to St. George.
It's interesting you mentioned that because, I mean, as Brian and I were chatting on the way down here too, is you look at a number of kids and parents that are listening right now, you know, they're always, you know, many of them want their kids to play AAA. They got dreams to be there because, you know, dad had a dream to get there, whatever. They didn't get there, but you went from AAA and came back. And again, it was because of the joy of the game, and probably maybe don't let me put words in your mouth, but it's because there was a group of guys that you wanted to play with, and there was an opportunity to possibly win.
Tough to say. I don't think winning was even in our minds. It was basically just to try something different.
Yeah, okay.
Once hitting came into play in Brantford, I was just all about hitting. I didn't care about putting the puck in the net. Five people tell me that I'm the reason why they invented boards, but
why they rounded them off
why they
instead of
rounded
making
them
them
off.
square.
Yeah, so I came back to town, and that's where we really had the time of our lives. You know, we won the championships in Paris. I think it was first time in 24 years. It was
wow.
It was literally the old Sobeys parking lot was just full of people, and it was both years. Guys with their shirts off, say like Paris and stuff, and
Neat.
It was amazing. Like,
And that's the experience you're supposed to have. Like I say, so many put their kids into AAA and they bust their butts to play at AAA. They play all summer. They play like 12 months out of the year, and it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time for parents and everything else. But oftentimes it's the parents' wish more than the kids' wish. But you went and played hockey at a level where you had fun.
Yeah, and Dad wasn't a hockey player growing up. I think he played the highest league he played was the Industrial League. He was Icer of the Year.
Nothing wrong with Industrial League.
Yeah, no. He liked to ice the puck.
I'm kidding.
He liked to ice that. Dad, he thinks it's funny.
Only your guys like your brothers end up there. The rest of us play.
The beauty about Industrial is you don't get your name in the paper for back check. You know,
That's true.
I'm at center. Huck me the puck. No, I'm not coming back to help you.
I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
I'll call Phil. He'll come and smack you around a bit.
Yeah.
So Phil, did you play with your brothers?
Yeah, I grew up playing with Zach.
Okay.
He's a year and a half younger, but he's a birth year younger.
Okay.
So he made every team but one in Brantford. And then when we came back to Paris, we were on both teams together. And then when we went to junior, he was 14, I was 15. So he was a small guy at that time. He was like 5'6".
Okay.
And I was probably 5'8", 5'9". And I made the team. Played a little bit there, went back to midget. And then he never played for the Mounties. He probably good enough to play, but he ended up going to Stratford, playing for the
The Culletons.
It was the Culletons.
they're
now
called the
Warriors.
Warriors now. And then he branched off, and he went his way, and I went my way.
Nice.
Where did he go?
He went to Stratford, then he was in Penticton,
Yeah.
and which is the BCHL.
Yep.
Right. And he got drafted out of there, and he also got a scholarship out of there.
Nice.
And he got drafted second round, 45th overall to Carolina.
Yep.
2008, and then he went to Ohio State for 2 years. Found out he didn't like it, and
The Ohio State.
Ohio State University, which was
a
whole other podcast of stories down there.
Yeah.
So I was 19 at that time, or 21. Sorry, so I was able to have a couple beers. Just to say that. And so he went there, and I was just kicked around the junior loop here. And the younger brother, he played AAA, came back for a couple years. He's 6 years younger than me.
Okay.
And then he went to Pembroke, played 2 years there, then went to Penticton, and then he got a full ride to Clarkson, which is
great school.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many kids go out to BC and end up scholarship route. I mean, it's a great development system they've got out there. It's awesome.
They have so many scouts out there. So like Ben was, I think he was leading scorer in his team, and Pembroke wasn't getting a sniff. Goes out there, he's getting like. Did he get as many goals as you did as a 5-year-old though?
No,
actually, he did tie a record. I could put that 9 goals a game. He did tie it.
Nice,
So,
nice.
So
your parents are big supporters, then I guess, right? Because they got three boys playing.
I mean, they had to, or they were, because they just worked hard for us to be able to do that. We weren't the richest people in the world, and they had a couple jobs, and just to put us through AAA hockey to maybe
100%.
not ride my dirt bike around the yard, and make a big team, but I never did. But yeah, they were big supporters.
So good work ethic came from dad and mom and dad.
Yeah, mom and dad were very underrated to say they were hard workers. Can't find a word for them. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I think that's so important. The good foundation at home, great support and everything else. Even though your dad didn't play the game, he was there to support you.
Yeah.
I've seen Brian play. It's same thing.
Okay, we're gonna go down that road, are we?
Yeah. So that's awesome. Sorry, go ahead. You were gonna say I cut you off.
No, go right ahead.
Go right ahead.
It was a great introduction to something here. So, no, I think it's awesome, Phil, and I've known. In my career, I played college hockey, played junior B, and then I coached and managed at the junior B and midget AAA level. And
oh wow,
it just it's a great upbringing. It's great being around the guys, being in the dressing room. It's a great way to grow up. So
I played junior till I was about 20, and then I played Major League Hockey, I think it was called back then, for the Brantford Blast.
You
had a cup of coffee there, and then I decided to. I was a couple years into coaching, so I decided to continue with that instead of play hockey and be away from the family and a girlfriend at the time who became my wife, and just friends, and there's a lot of travel. It's considered amateur pro, I guess, and it is amateur pro. It's the jungle.
Exactly.
So,
how much do I have to pay to play tonight?
That's right. I think the kicker for me was, or the deciding factor is all the way to Whippy. And we were on the bus, and it was like, Whippy, traffic's like 4 hours. You leave at noon, you tell work you got to leave, and warm-ups, and then I don't know if I had a bad warm-up, the coach came down and he goes, he only wants to dress 10 forwards tonight, so you're sitting. I'm going against the Dunlops. He goes, and I go, what is this? Like, you can keep the $75 a game, I don't care. You can keep it, I just want to play hockey. I came all this way. But
pay one of the other guys to sit out. Here's my 75. Go sit up in the press box. I'm playing.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was all about, but hey, it is what it is. And so I ended up coaching here in town for 5 years. Did a year in Brantford, and then went to junior.
Yeah. Right. You enjoy coaching?
I did. I think I enjoyed it. I was older, but I think I enjoyed it more as a coach than I was a player.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because we talk about that, and I mean, it's one of those things where years ago, like you say, you got to remember when I coached, but it was back in the 80s and 90s, and Roger Nielsen always said to me, you probably don't know who Roger Nielsen is, great coach back in the day, but he said to me, he says, you're always ready sooner than you think, because anybody can draw X's and O's. Anybody can put, you go here, and some players will pick up, I need to go to open ice. The biggest thing as a coach is understanding what turns Phil, what clicks Phil, what makes Phil go, what makes Bryan go, and understanding that. So when you tap him on the back, say it's your turn, you know it's your job.
Yeah, and you got to do that 17 times over with 17 players. And
everybody's got a different freaking desire to be there, a different passion to be there, but different reason to be there.
Yeah.
And you have to understand why.
Yeah, and I ended up in town here as a coaching mentor. I'm still doing it.
Right on.
And I kind of tell the guys that, like, you got to figure out your team first before you figure out the X's and O's. If you have a hardworking team, you shouldn't be doing the trap. If you have
100%,
if you have a hard work or a skilled team, but they don't like to check, maybe do the trap. I don't know. I'm not a big trap guy, but it's just something to throw out there to a lot of rookie coaches. You got to figure your guys out first. Know your team. And then
know your guys. As I said, when we won the Sutherland Cup back in 91, 92, we says, anybody could have just opened a door and won with that team. You had 21 different personalities.
Yeah, exactly. You keep them all in check. Yeah.
You got a 21-year-old, that wants to date the 16-year-old sister, and your 16-year-old guy wants to go drink with the 20-year-old. You can't. You got to figure out these guys and bring them together and make them mesh.
Yeah, for sure.
I coached with a guy, Michael Nome. I'm not sure whether you would, Kenny Galerno.
Oh, yeah. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, so Kenny was he was a treat. He was a treat to coach with. He was just a really colorful color.
He has such a passion for the game.
So much, right? Because, exactly, he had so much passion for the game. But, we were talking about neutral zone traps and, the hinge breakout, and we were talking about, all these things. And he was mentoring me through it, right?
Yeah.
And then I still remember we were here in Brantford playing. And he was just like fuming. He was so pissed that we were playing the way we were. And he goes, watch this. Yeah. So we go into the room. And like when he went into the room, he just demanded your attention. Like you stopped doing what you did. Because Ken would call you out right in front of anybody. So he goes in the room and he goes, okay. He goes, you guys suck. He goes, we're playing like shit. Yeah. And he goes, this is what it comes down to. We don't have the puck. Go get the puck.
Yeah.
We get the puck. Put it in their fucking net. Yeah. He goes, let's go.
Sounds easy, boy.
So I'm following him down the tunnel. He goes, what do you think of that? I think they're sitting in the room right now going, what the fuck just happened?
I mean, it sounds easy. Maybe we'll just lace him up again and try out for a senior team.
He just simplified the game. I keep going dot to dot. No, chase the black thing.
Yeah. Is he writing a book? Like, is he writing after that speech?
It's one page.
It was awesome. I kept that with me the whole time. I did it with the midget team that I coached, and just it's just like a reset. Yeah, like we're talking about. Oh, we didn't do this right, or let's be like tougher on the boards. Let's be tougher in front of that. And it's like no, go get the puck.
Yeah, simple.
So
This is the thing that wins and loses games. Go get it.
yeah.
You guys ever heard of the
Awesome.
KISS method? They just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to put in the mesh net. That's it. We get to go home. That's it. Happy.
Whoever has it, go get that guy.
Yeah.
It's been a long bus ride to one sound. We got to go all the way
I
back.
can imagine.
Yeah.
So there you are. You've gone through hockey. Now, did you meet your now wife / girlfriend playing hockey?
No, I was actually, I think it was 19 or 20 at the time. I was in between. I was playing for the Merchants. I was done with the Merchants and just kind of decided that I was going to go to school to be a millwright.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I can't balance out junior hockey with this. And, work was busy and I was chasing her around since I was 17. So, finally got the opportunity to go on a date with her. She was going to Brock University. So
Finally said, really? All right.
she's like, geez, you're persistent, buddy.
man.
Like, leave me alone, but quit knocking on my door. No, I'm kidding.
This is getting really creepy, okay? I'll go for one, but in public.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then actually, as we were dating, I kind of got a call one day. It's actually a funny story. And this is just junior hockey. I was plowing snow at my work. There's something I did for them, you know, and I'm kind of inching by the road there. And these guys come out of nowhere and they get out of their car. And the coach and the manager of the Dalpe Travelers get out. I don't know. They look familiar to me.
Yeah.
And they get out and the one guy just falls like on the ice. I'm going like, who the hell are these guys? Like, what's your problem? And they get out and they go, hey, we want to sign you. Our team's looking pretty good for playoffs. And St. George owns your rights, but they got a full card. And, what do you think? And I go, well, my mom threw my gear out last year. She thought it was garbage. So I'm going to need new gear. When do I start? And they go, oh, you want to play tonight? And I go, you guys are, I think it was OHA Cup at the time. You guys are a OHA Cup contender? Yeah, we're going on the way. And I went, so I got a fan. I think my brothers were both in town at the time.
Yeah.
Got a fan base, went down to Thamesford.
Nice.
Shit kicked 8-0. And I'm going, these guys are going to be the team.
Guys, they're the champs.
And
They're
you know
coming.
what? To be honest, we went to the finals and lost in game 7. They were 100%
wow.
right. And it was a good thing to finish my career on. It was just for playoffs. It was like 15 pounds overweight. And I'm going like, and they're like, your first line center, we saw what you do. And I'm going like, I don't like to put the puck in that, boys. I just like to go around and hit. And they made me, realize that's part of the game still. And yeah, I did it. And it was a lot of fun. Those guys were a lot of fun for a junior D team.
So can you follow us to the rink? So he takes the plow, follow us into the rink. The boys are out there
I
getting
just
out
thought
the bus
he
going.
fell and he kind of slid right there. I'm going like, what are these guys? Are they, who are they? What's their problem? And then I saw the Travelers. I'm going like, oh, I know what they're here for. I end up signing. But yeah, I was with her. That's probably the last year she got to see me play.
Oh, wow.
She only saw one game probably, but it was good enough.
There you go. Good enough. Sealed the deal right then.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy. I like him. He's a hockey player.
Yeah. So we met, we got, and then fast forward a couple of years, wasn't playing hockey anymore, and I just kind of decided, what's next?
Yeah.
And it
What
kind
a
of
great name for a podcast.
Yeah.
What's next?
There's a podcast to listen to. They have a drink every time they say the phrase word, but I see we're drinking water.
I could get into that.
I'm just kidding. But I was wondering what's going on. It literally fell on my feet when the fire chief of Paris came down. He worked across the street from me, and he goes, "What do you think about being a firefighter?" And I'm going like, never thought of doing anything in the service like that. But I am looking for something. And he goes, you got 6 months to think about it. Well, it took me about 6 minutes. Yeah. It took me probably another 6 months to convince the wife. And then, I joined the County Brant Fire right after that. So
Nice.
Yeah.
It's funny, back in the day, we used to always say once you're done playing junior hockey, it's always a great career to be a firefighter or a police officer because they got great hockey tournaments where they play. They're always recruiting the best hockey players.
FDNY knows what's up, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I became a firefighter.
How long were you with fire?
Have I been? I've been 10 years this year.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years experience.
Enjoy it?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, growing up, being on teams and teams and teams, I think this is probably the best team I've been a part of.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
And
big. That's cool.
It kind of has to be. You're going and doing dangerous things with friends. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Got each other's back. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why, to your point, Mike, that's why a lot of guys gravitate towards those careers because, like hockey becomes, or any organized sport, team sport, it just becomes part of you, and that really is it's another team, and it's just it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
To be around a good group of guys that for the same purpose. So
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Really enjoying it. So
Nice.
yeah.
What's the best thing about being a firefighter? And don't say roast beef dinners.
We don't have much of them.
All right.
Just the adrenaline rush of it. I think as a volunteer, you're either at work, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You're at home, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, and all of a sudden, thing goes off, and you got to jump out of bed. Your heart's racing, and you're thinking about what you're going to do as you're passing people. And it's a big town of Paris now, but and you get there, and you're hoping you're on the right truck. And it's I think it's the rush. And obviously community work. My mom was big in the community work, so I thought I'd do the most dangerous community work you could possibly do. So
Sure.
yeah. But I'd say that's the best part.
No, that's awesome. It's a great answer. It's a very admirable job, and I thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Let's, can we talk about your mom a little bit?
Yeah, so Mom owned a store in town called Ink Staters. It's well known. A lot of people went through town knew Ink Staters.
Ah, okay. Because when I saw that, and now it just clicked as soon as you said it.
Yeah, it was right downtown.
Yep. I know exactly the story.
She owned it with her father. And she was a big part of downtown. She's I'm not 100% sure what her role was in the BIA, but she started things like Jingle Bell Night, which is coming up. And there's it's now a tradition, like Steve would tell you. And Springtime in Paris as well, which is also a tradition. Yeah. So she was a big part of that, and so she was huge in the community. And,
nice.
And then right around 2015, we got the bad news. So let's and again, we talked about it before we came on here, but So how old was your mom? Sorry, when we talked bad news. The time she was diagnosed, she was 50, but she was turning 51. It was July. It was March when she got diagnosed. March 8th, I remember. It was March 15th. Sorry. And it was like I was saying earlier, it was one of those things where your dad's not at work, you're wondering why else, and he calls you. You go out to the house, a million things running through your head. We've never had anybody really pass in the family prior.
Right.
And you walk in the door, and Dad kind of lets you know, hey, we got some things to tell you. And I was the oldest, obviously, and Mom's got cancer. And I was having a dream.
Yeah.
And 26 at the time, or 27, and broke down, called my fiance, and she was crazy. It was nuts for her too. She had to get there, and we told my younger brother he was playing for the Sabres at the time that he was building a house and something was going on with the house. He had to come home. Yeah. And Dad kind of tasked me with telling him, and my old man left for Clarkson to tell my youngest brother. Okay. So it was kind of a crazy day. Yeah. And we got the news that she had stage 4 kidney cancer.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah, and it started out as a cough, and they went to the doctor, and then the doctor did the old you got a 90-day cough, and then went back 90 days later. She's like, I'm having problems. I can't. I can't really function. And he's like, well, let's go get you an X-ray, or I may have been a CAT scan. Found specks in her lungs. Let's go get that looked at. You got cancer. And she's a very tough woman. She got told she's got cancer, and then she got in the car and went to Buffalo, watch Shaq play the same day. Yeah. And it wasn't one of those things where
our mums are always so strong.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. That's so cool.
And it was, Dad had a tough time telling us, but she had to get a biopsy, and that's when he had decided to tell us. Yeah. It was a tough go. So
yeah, I mean, we hear it so often, and everybody's family nowadays, cancer, and oftentimes you go, okay, what kind is it? Because there's a lot of times it's not so bad. It can take how much time, but to hear stage 4, how much time did they give her then when they?
I think it was anywhere between 6 months, 2 years. Wow. And we just thought she was a superhero. Like, there's no way. I've had friends that their moms had breast cancer, and they did the same thing. Yeah. And we always assumed that the doctor was just giving us the worst news just to get us ready. And
sure.
It was basically 6 months to the day. It was actually 6 months to the day she died.
Wow.
And really? And in between that, I got married, and we were lucky enough to get her into Princess Margaret, where they did a bunch of tests, and that's when the roller coaster started. Yeah. It's one day it's going good, one day it's going bad, and we had zero experience in that. And as first responders, we have zero experience in that as far as, what's going to happen and all that stuff. And I got married. I actually got married before the actual wedding. It was just for her. It was on her birthday.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you if she got a chance to.
My dad was, could see it taking a turn for the worse. And we decided to have a spiritual blessing where we had the closest people out there. And And yeah, the wife said, let's
so
do it.
awesome.
And yeah.
I mean, that's a great memory. So now you and your mom were close?
Yeah, mom was close with all of us, and again, Paris is a small town. She was close with a lot of people.
Yeah. Sometimes that's great to have a lot of people around in the same breath. I got asked, did you find time to be with yourself and go through those reflections and things?
Yeah, I did. Lucky enough, I had a very strong wife, and the brothers went back. She was always like, "Don't worry about me. Go do your thing."
Yeah.
And the brothers went back to, I think, Zach was in Buffalo, Benny was in Clarkson. They went back to school and the NHL, and I came back and to the team, the fire department team, and boy, were those guys something. They helped me out through a lot, thick and thin. And
Very cool.
I never showed emotion. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve as much as I used to, but they knew how to get me through it.
Yeah.
And they were very good.
Because I think that's a big thing. Like I said, is being able to spend time on your own and being able to reflect on that and still, be okay with that. And shout out to your wife. Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How's Dad doing?
Dad's doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're very sentimental people. Like, he's got this old car he likes to drive around. I was actually my mom's first car. It was a 74 Charger. And,
nice.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So when Zach was at Ohio State, he actually bought a bus too. And it was a Greyhound bus. Like, you guys probably remember Jack Benny. Like, it was Rochester's bus.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
And he bought Rochester's bus. Went through a few owners, but he still has it. Pictures of mom in it and stuff, which is great. And
cool.
Yeah, he likes to do that. He's still working every day and works hard. And
Nice. Okay. Cool.
yeah, he's good.
That's cool.
And yeah, it was a crazy time. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I think that's for everybody, and it's a matter of how you deal with it to get through it and everything else. Like we've talked about this on several shows.
Yeah.
How people deal with it and how they get through it, and it's thinking those good memories and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the funeral.
Strong support.
The funeral was something I've never experienced. There was probably 1,200 people, and it was at the Sacred Heart Church, which we had to have a big venue like that because we knew people were coming, and I had my department there plus others, and Zach had all the hometown friends, and pretty amazing. Like the Canucks sent flowers, the Hurricanes sent flowers, the Sabres sent flowers, and Benny I felt bad for at the beginning because we were all sitting there ready to go out, and we looked out we looked out the window, and the Clarkson University teams traveled that day to come down for the funeral.
Wow!
And the whole police escort, police salute.
Very cool.
She had nothing to do with them, but she's just well known as a very community.
I see you're in Paris, small town. Everybody embraces that.
Yeah.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, she was a mom all the way to the end.
Yeah,
and she made it easy on us, and I can't imagine how hard it could be on her. It was one of those. Again, another thing is saying goodbye. We had all say goodbye. I got back. I literally drove from. We stopped in Pittsburgh on the way home from Florida. We went on a honeymoon, and went straight to the hospice, which is an amazing place.
Yes.
And the best place in the world. And said goodbye to her.
Yeah.
And that was tough because we're like, why are we saying goodbye? Well, it's time to let go.
Yeah.
And move on and do your thing. And I think she passed about 2 weeks after that, but strong gal. For sure.
Very cool.
Yeah, sorry. I'm getting a little choked up, but
and so you should be. I mean, that's like I say, mothers are a big part of our lives, and
No, it's big. It's really big, and I had it written down here is how'd you get through it, but you answered it all right there.
just kept busy. Lucky enough, I was coach of junior at the time, so that's busy enough.
Yeah.
And the fire department was busy, and like I said, best team I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
And those guys knew enough to leave me alone and let me go on my own way if I want to come to calls and come in, and I did.
Yeah.
And I just remember, being so close with the boys. I was at a stoplight. I don't know if it was after my mom passed. I've had basically everybody except for my father pass away in the last 7 years. And mom was the first. And I don't know. I was kind of like Neverland. Probably talking to the tooth fairy, and there's a guy beside me who was on the department, and he was trying to talk to me. He couldn't. He phoned me. He goes, "Dalpe, let's go for a beer."
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of realized, like, hey, I rely on a lot of these guys without knowing it, and they're great people. Put up with my shit. So yeah.
So we always talk about, and we do on this show a lot about legacy. And a legacy is not what you leave for someone; it's what you leave in someone. Mm-hmm. What's the legacy Mom left in you?
Family first. I have a tattoo on my arm. But she family first. It's on her tombstone. She believed in family and community, And the old saying goes, takes a village to raise a kid or whatever. It's true. Like everybody knew her stuff. And like I remember thinking when she passed, like, who am I going to go to? But I remember my family kind of huddling around when someone gave a speech at her funeral. And I looked over, 1,200 people, not a dry tear.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I got the whole town of Paris behind me. I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And she left
That's cool.
Warm
Because that's what
legacy.
it's all about.
Yeah.
Like you say, you don't want to leave anything behind except you want to leave it in somebody. And that's cool that she's left her mark in everybody, her ink stir in everybody.
Yeah, we all got tattoos. It was a rule in our house, which I thought was funny. No drugs, no piercings, no tattoos.
Mom's gone.
Mom's gone. No, mom was...
Love you, Mom.
I think... I got the cancer ribbon. So, yeah, she was going
nice.
through that when I got it. And I had to get the fire department tattoo as a thing.
Yeah.
And I got all that. And I ended up getting Family First and a couple of sayings on my arms that she believed in. And she had a quote when we were kids. It still sticks with me. It's, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% are how you react.
Exactly.
So that was a big thing through our death. And, and Dad always said when Mom passed, and it helped us out quite a bit through the rest of the deaths, was you're never going to get over it. You just have to deal with it. Yeah. And it's something that I like to kind of help people with if they are going through something like that, and reach out to me. I can talk you through it. And, it's crazy. Cool. Yeah.
No, I think it's a very cool and it's a very real statement that you just made there, that you just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
You have to. However bad it is, you got to mourn. You got to go through, the difficult times. But then you got to get on.
Yeah.
You got to get on with it, and you got to put it in a better perspective and in a better light. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are going to really appreciate that statement.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, Mom always said, "Don't remember me now, remember me the way I was." And I can't, a lot of people say, like, I saw her laying there and she was gone. I don't. It was a blur to me. I remember her making lunches for school, her making pizza on the bus. Just an all around great person.
Did she yell in the arena?
No, but she used to have the joke, like, what's the difference between a pit bull and a hockey mom with his lipstick? And I never saw. In fact, when I was fighting in junior, she was the one telling me to stop because she just paid $4,000 for my teeth, but which I ended up losing a couple, but she didn't think that was cool. But
that's so awesome.
So I just remember the good times, and it was a lot. And she, like I said, she was tough. I remember a good story. I had some friends over, and I don't know. I think we might have been like 19, having a couple beers, and I don't know exactly what we were doing, but I had the water hose and I squirted her. I thought it was funny. Yeah. And she did the old stop, and I'm going like, no, like screw you, Mom. Spray with water.
My buddies are here. Show you,
and they're all sitting on the lawn chair, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like I'm upside down on my neck, and she's like, "I told you to stop." And I was like, "I see why people don't mess with you now."
Holy mackerel!
So yeah, she so always.
Cool. That should just be a T-shirt. I'm a hockey mom.
Yeah, she was definitely a hockey mom. She traveled everywhere to watch us play. And, and like cool. I was saying earlier, I think I was telling Logan, like, we never went on vacation as kids. It was Huntsville or a hockey tournament, which we made it worthwhile. We won. In AAA, it was like, all those places. So I never traveled. So my wife wants to travel. I'm going like, when's the next hockey tournament?
Yeah, travel from arena to arena.
That's to arena. It was great. Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest.
So, question: you talk to her often?
Yes and no. Whenever I have problems, like I have 2 kids now. I have a little girl and a little boy.
Oh, congrats! Awesome.
Little boy just turned 2, and his name's Declan Joseph Phillip, named after myself and my dad. Okay. And my mom was Lisa, so we named her Avery Lisa Dalpe, which she's 5 now. Yeah. And I ask her for help sometimes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a true statement.
No, that's healthy.
Yeah, I think it's really healthy.
Wild, probably idiot boys. Yeah. And my brother's stuck with them now. He's got 3 boys, and I don't know how he does it. They're nuts. And she had wild. Yeah. So I asked her some things, and never believed in the spiritual side of it until it happens to you. Yeah. Like I remember one time driving home, and this is actually a crazy story because I didn't believe it to this part. I was driving home from a bachelor party, and I was in Dad's car, and it was a June night, and it was chilly. It was like 10 degrees, and I had the window down, and we're driving home, and I just felt like she was there. She's telling me to slow down because that's what she always did, And I was like, I'm in Dad's car. It's got 600 horse. I'm not slowing down. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. If I get pulled over, hopefully I get off. But and I was just like
my firefighter card.
It was my badge shirt. No, I'm just kidding. And it was just one of those nights where I was just this felt great. I was listening probably to Fleetwood Mac or something. That's the only CD in the car, and the only 8-track. And I was just buzzing home, and I'd had a good night, and I got home, and I just couldn't wait to tell my wife. And I woke her up, and I said, "Hey, like, Mom was with me in that car," and she started crying, and I'm because she knew where I was at a bachelor party, right? And I go, "Hey, like, no, nothing happened. Like, no, we were throwing bocce ball, like nothing happened." She goes, "No, I just had a dream of your mom. She was calling me, and she said it was cold out, and she was looking for the blankets, and she said she was in a good spot, everything's fine." Wow. And I was like, well, it was cold out when I was driving home and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right? And just, you see stuff. Zach scored a couple goals that I don't think should have went in. I don't think he's talented enough to do it. Sorry, Zach. Just kidding with you.
I love it.
And
you heard it right here. I just nailed you for that one.
I think the first goal he scored after, he did like a spinner around. He was playing for Minnesota, and it kind of went in between the pads. And looked at Mary, and I went, "Thanks, Mom." And then I saw him do the old, like, kiss the sky or whatever. Yeah. And I do believe in it. I believe she's there.
Yeah.
And I only ask for her when I need her.
Yeah.
Not to be selfish, but I know she's good up there, and she's with good company. So.
That's cool. Yeah, because we've had a couple guests on before that have had family members or something pass or take their life in that, and they still, like I say, they talk on a daily basis because they just want to feel their presence.
Yeah, Zach was having his first kid, and he was supposed to fly out that day. He got called up, and he was in Iowa, and he got called up to Minnesota, and he went up, and he was on the plane, and she was going into labor, his wife, Cassandra, and he was on the plane, and he's going like, "Oh, I shouldn't be leaving. I'm having a kid. All of a sudden, freak snowstorm. Get off the plane. Had to call the GM. I can't make it. Plane's canceled. Had the baby that night. Stuff like that. That's just a freak thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's amazing.
You can believe whatever you want. That's good though.
Yeah.
Mom's up there kind of giggling and winking.
Yeah,
got your back. Got your back.
No such thing as coincidence.
Nope.
No, and I
None
think
whatsoever.
she might have designed my daughter to look like a lot like her too, which is crazy to have her. It just gives you a look sometimes, and you're going like, "Mom,
You're like,
sorry, Mom, I'll make sure I eat my sandwiches." Like, sorry.
You cut the crusts off my sandwich.
Yeah, my bad.
That's awesome.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Phil, it's like we do with every show. We've had a good time. I hope you've had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a couple of jackasses just having a conversation. We got a lot in common.
Talking about
hockey.
you two, right? A couple of jackasses.
Yeah.
I find it like an unconventional way of talking to people.
Yeah.
It's not like it's. I mean, no offense, not professional, but it's.
Oh,
if we were allowed to have shots of whiskey here and talk about it, we would.
Well,
be. And
on that note,
Depending on what we think, you might get a shot of scotch later. You might.
Yeah. So like it's. I think it's great what you guys are doing here.
Thanks.
Yeah, reaching out to people without reaching out to them.
And I truly do think that what you've had to say here tonight is going to reach somebody.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Somebody's going to
100%.
go, okay, get it.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to my buddies because I think it's kind of weird, but I talked to my dad, I talked to my mom, I talked to my brother, my sister, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So now maybe they're like, okay, not so weird.
Yeah, just
got this big tough guy sitting behind Mike going, it's okay.
Is this something you can't?
No, seriously, it's okay.
You can't prepare for it.
No.
You just have to. Like I said, a water roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I guess I had 3 grandparents, 1 step grandparent die after, and a friend die in a car accident. I think there was 14 people since my wedding. I've been married for 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't like people at my wedding that are close.
Yeah.
And they're all there, and it's too bad. But you get over one, you move on to the next one. Not getting over them, but you're dealing with the one.
Exactly.
Boom, the next one happens. Boom, the next one happens, and
Awesome.
just gotta move
Sweet.
on.
Well, we do with every show. We've done all the niceties. We got to know you, what's it all about, but it's the topic of the show. We always ask at the end. So you've done all this, you've experienced all this. So what's next?
Well, I'd like to continue helping my community out, and just helping them out the way Mom would have helped them out. She's got her name on a plaque downtown, and I don't think the legacy stops there. I think we can keep going.
Yep.
And I'm currently with Paris Minor Hockey, who I think she was a president of, I believe, at one time. And I'm going to continue with that and maybe get back into coaches and hopefully raise my kids, half as good as she raised us. I think they'll be okay.
There you go.
And that goes for you too, Dad. And just keep on as guess with this day.
Awesome.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I do too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
We're going to be here to support you. I mean,
Yeah.
That's reach out anytime. A couple old hockey dudes. Yeah, we'll come down
sweet.
and We won't go on a road trip with you, mind you.
Oh, we take the bus. You guys be Jack Benny. I'll be Rochester.
No, come on, we'll ride the bus.
More buses.
Oh, yeah, no more buses.
You love the bus.
I wanted to buy a bus so bad, and now I know why I wanted to buy one, because
Yeah,
I
well,
spent most of my life
It's
on
funny.
a damn bus.
You got a bus. You have a car. His dad's owned that car since he was 17, but it's not good enough. He goes out and buys a 41 Fargo pickup. And this thing's like the prettiest thing. Like we're known to be in town is a little bit rough around the edges. I don't know why we have this thing, but this thing's gorgeous, and he's got to have that too. I don't know how he's driving 3 at once, but he somehow is.
Whatever. Good for him.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
who I am.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Anyway, that's awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us, Phil. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And Brian, as always, thanks for being here.
Okay, buddy.
And
Everybody at
catch you
home.
on the next one. Everybody at home. Peace.
Peace out.
We're out of here.
Ciao.